Hey, this is Porter from the band Atreyu, and this is for those about to rock.
Hey Porter, nice to meet you.
Yeah,
how are you?
I'm fantastic. Yeah, stoked to be here.
What do you think about the NOVAROCK? How was it so far?
We were here last night on a day off, so I got to see our friends at Billy Talent. We got to see them on a Marth for the first time. Got to wander out. We went all the way out in the campground and just wandered around and got drunk. So it's been good so far.
You got recognized by someone?
There was a couple double takes, but I think it was because of the beard. Yeah.
Just for any friend.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if it was band related or beard related. It's always.
Yeah, well, since you guys put out Long Live in September, you guys been touring a lot. Any funny moments? Anything funny that happened? Oh.
Besides the fan just bursting. Funny moments. I think one of my favorite moments, Dan, our guitarist, actually just posted about this on Instagram or Facebook or something, was in, I'm going to go with Boston or Baltimore in December, in the tour with Beartooth that we did. We let our drum tech play drums, and Brandon came up and sang. So Brandon, while Dan was soloing, Brandon picked up Dan and held him up. Brandon's a big fucking dude. I don't know if you've ever seen him. Yeah. He's like three of me. He's like all three of the people in this room put together into one man. He's huge. And Dan's a little guy. So he just went and picked him up on one arm, and Dan's soloing while Brandon's just like walking him around the stage. So that was a good moment.
Awesome. And anything awkward, anything embarrassing that happened so far?
The other day we were playing Billings, Montana, and it was this big, beautiful old theater, the Wilma Theater, I think it was, and just huge stage, wooden stage, lots and lots of room to do whatever you want. And when I have the room, I do like a roll with my bass. It's like a somersault with my bass on. I don't even understand the physics of it and how I don't fucking kill myself each time. But so I did that, and I went and I landed perfectly, and then I stepped my heel onto Dan's cable for his pedal board that went to the front, and it's wrapped in this cloth, so it's slippery. So I landed and went, ha! And just ate shit, like face first, knees, elbows, bass, just like, boom. So I got up, I was like, and then just wandered away. And I was like hesitant to do it again because I was like, I don't want to fucking fall again. And then like 3 or 4 songs later, I did it again, and the monitor guy looked at me. He was like, "Well done, good for you to get back on the horse." If you know that phrase, like when you fuck up, you do it again, and you're not afraid. I was like, "Thanks, man." So that was moderately embarrassing. Yeah.
You were one of the first bands that kind of developed the whole genre, the whole metalcore genre. So you're also a big part of metalcore's history, and big up for that.
Cheers.
Could you shed some light on the situation back then? I mean, metal history says that metalcore evolved as a counterpart to mainstream new metal. In how far is that true, or was the situation back then? Do you know that?
I don't think it was a direct result of new metal, or it was a direct result of metal, or it was a direct result of anything like that. It was the difference of musical influences in our band. And we have Brandon with this great singing voice, and Alex with this great screaming voice, and Dan loving the 80s, and Travis listening to like the heavier and darker side of stuff, and me with my influence as well. Like, we all have so many different styles and different influences that it was just kind of inevitable that we just mush it all together. And you can hear that throughout every Atreyu record. Like, no 2 Atreyu records are the same, and they never will be. You know what I mean? We're not going to ever write the curse again, because that was where we were at that point in our lives, and we have so many different tastes and so many different things we want to try and experiment with. So I think it was just a result of our upbringing and influence, really, that created that sort of thing. We weren't trying to be like one thing or do something different or like react anyway. It's just a natural progression. Yeah,
it's kind of interesting. I mean, after you guys started, there were a lot of metalcore bands. Obviously, sure. They orientated themselves towards you.
The same area as us. So
yeah, but in this certain period, also in the early 2000s, they were like kind of emerged like mushrooms. So there was certainly a fertile ground for that.
It is a funny time, because we tour with bands today that are like as big as us or bigger, and they are all would not exist without us, and they've told us that.
Yeah.
And it's just such a strange, like, it's a wonderful feeling to be at the forefront of building this scene and this culture. Like, it's an honor for us, because some of these bands are fucking incredible, you know what I mean? And that to say that they wouldn't exist without us, or, you know, we had a huge, not solely because of us, I'm not that cocky, you know, but I think it makes us feel cool and it makes us feel special. And it's been fun when we took that little break to come back, because we're like, who the fuck knows if anyone's gonna care? And they do. And we've kind of like solidified ourselves as like, I don't know.
And you kind of tease the people to see if they're still interested, did you? So and it turned out to be awesome. I mean,
and it's still fun.
Speaking of your pause, I mean, you guys paused because you said in interviews you felt exhausted and kind of burnt out. What do you do now not to repeat that, not to get burned out again?
I think it wasn't at the point where we were burned out and we hated each other or anything like that. It was like, okay, we've been doing this for so long. And I joined the band in 2004, and they've been doing this since 1994. So I've been in the band 12 years. Like, you know, that's a fucking long time. So it was just the constantness of going, and like, they had never really grown as human beings without Atreyu. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, Alex went and he had a kid, he started a gym, Brandon did Hell or High Water, Dan started a business, Travis played in other bands. Like, I had already been an artist before I joined the band, you know what I mean? I had a full like career essentially in a way before I started touring with them. So it was a great time for us to just remember what that's like and understand who we are more as human beings outside of Atreyu. So now we come back, we still have a huge grasp on all those things that we learned, and it makes coming back here even more fun. And it turns out that almost everything that we did along the way now fuels Atreyu. Like, I did our CD artwork, I directed our music video, Dan does all of our merch, you know what I mean? So like, there's so many different things where it all just ties together. And so, I don't know, like, every single tour just feels fresh, and every single tour feels fun, and every time we get up on stage, it feels like it's 2004 again for me, you know what I mean? It's just, we haven't had even like a slight amount of decrease in excitement, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that leads me to the next question. You guys said in the future, it's important for you guys to have fun. I don't know, as a young band, everyone tells you to take it seriously, to handle a band like a business. How do you get a balance between that and what is more important generally?
I mean, for me, in anything and everything that you can ever do in your life, it should be about fun. Every single thing you should ever do in your life, you should be excited about. And if you aren't, you're doing it the wrong way. Whether that be your girlfriend, you writing songs and music, you working in a grocery store. If it makes you happy, then fucking do it. If it makes you excited and you feel excited to do something, fucking do it. The second you don't, get the fuck out of there. So if you truly are excited to write music and be a creator and write with a band and, you know, become a musician and follow that path, then fucking do it. Don't worry about every single thing and how you're going to get money to this or how this is going to happen. If you just fucking love it, it'll find a way to meet you. And you'll attract maybe like the best manager that you have, and then they can help you and worry about all the business bullshit. Just have fun.
But for example, you said you do a lot of the things yourself. You design the artwork. What do you say? What's the main advantage or disadvantage of a label? Do you even need a label in times now, like these, where you can promote yourself on the internet, or what's the label for?
I mean, if you're Radiohead, you don't need a label. I think for us, we debated that when we started back. We're like, do we need a management? Do we need a label? We could just put a fucking Kickstarter up, raise money for an album, and put it out ourselves and charge $5 and not have to fucking worry about it. But I do think that if you can sign a good deal with a label that cares, like we're on Spine Farm Records and they care. They worked really fucking hard for this. And it was great to have that person looking out for your best interest. And we have management with Raw Power Management, and they do as well. And there are so many different angles of the music industry that as a band and an artist, you're fucking clueless about. And you need someone out there fighting for you and out there working their asses off, organizing and doing all these things, you know? So I think you do need that to an extent. But like I said, you just write good music and that shit will find you. People will want to help you because there are a lot of people in the management and the record label side that aren't musicians. They don't understand how that works, but they want to help people do that. So that's where we found ourselves.
Totally different topic, not that different, but what do you think about current, about temporary heavy metal music? I mean, you guys have been around for so long time. The scene has changed, but a lot of bands. One question was funny in another interview that you guys did. He said most of the kids out there are looking up to bands, not even recognizing that those bands are looking up to bands like you when they see you the first time. So what do you say? How has the scene changed? Good things, bad things?
I think it's an exciting time right now. I mean, you're going to get different answers about this from every one of us, you know. But for me personally, like bands like Northlane, I really like Northlane. I really like a band called Hacktivist. I really like them. Architects just released their new record, and it's fucking huge. Thrice came back with a new record, and it sounds phenomenal. Beartooth and Let Live came out with one today that I haven't had internet to get a hold of yet. But I love Let Live, and Beartooth, we toured with them a while back, and they're fucking rad too, you know? And there's a lot of, there's an upswinging in more like just hardcore style. Not like heavy metal or heavy like breakdowns, but like fast punk shit. And I really like all that too. Like, I can't think of a band off the top of my head. Straight From the Path. I fucking love Straight From the Path. You know what I mean? So I think there are a lot of good bands out there. And I think metal music for a while went through this thing with the internet, like popping up like mushrooms, like you said, where it was just every band was this watered down copy of a copy of a copy, and it was like I'd heard everything. But now, I think that bubble burst a few years back, or maybe around the time when we stopped and I turned my eyes away from music completely. I think now it's such a refreshing point, and there is a lot of originality and a lot of like purity where these people just fucking love it and they're just writing rad shit, and you can hear that. You know what I mean? You can hear that in every Straight From the Path song, or what's the other one recently? That second Northlane record is incredible.
Yeah, Activist Murder. Northlane really are awesome. So you like the kind of, in my opinion, there are two movements in the scene. Many of them get a little more poppy, more singing, like Bring Me the Horizon does, or I like melodic screaming is also currently really trendy, like Architects does or Bring Me the Horizon do, or and the other movement is like they getting more rhythmical, if you know what I mean, like
more technical
yeah
things. Yeah, I like some of that stuff. I can't think of any off the top of my head right now. I don't mind that as well. But I listen to every kind of music ever. Like I'm from Alabama, and I was raised on country music and Paul Simon. I listen to classical music. I listen to fucking Kendrick Lamar. So good music to me is good music. It doesn't matter. Like I don't see it as like two sides of two waves of the next thing. It's just if it's good music, it's good music, and I'm into it. You know.
Yeah, and you certainly write better music if you broaden your horizon.
Exactly.
If you,
you don't eat the same piece of pizza every day, you know? Pizza's good, but you get tired of it.
Exactly. Yeah, as I said, you guys have been around a long time. I mean, I'm wondering, in many bands there is one band member that keeps the whole thing going, that connects everyone. Who would that be in Atreyu? Who kept you guys going?
You mean when we were off? Or just
generally? Is there some member that's kind of a chain, that's kind of a link between all others, and what's the general roles in the band?
Because it would either be me or Dan, I think, as far as that. As far as the keeping everyone, because we're like the more in the middle of the road, like the level-headed, the sort of like patient thought. We don't react quickly. We think things through, and like I don't know, much more calm in that regard. So I guess it would be that. I've never thought about this, but we each bring our own thing, and so I don't think it's like one member that's like, okay, come over here, guys, steering the ship. It's not like that. We all have our input. We're all 1/5 of the same whole, you know.
Yeah, I guess that's one of the key things to be that successful, because in my opinion, there are a lot of bands out there who have one band member not doing everything, but connecting the whole band and keep the thing going.
We all help each other. Yeah. It's a good unity between us.
Okay, already the one of the last questions, unfortunately. What was your childhood dream? If you weren't a musician, what else would it be? Who would you be? Or what would you be, like firefighter or astronaut?
I have no fucking idea. I've never been one that's like that. I've never been one like, by the time that I'm 30, I'll be married with 2 kids, or I've never been one to look forward. I've just enjoyed where I'm at and figured out, like I was saying, what made me most stoked at the time. So whether that was picking up a camera and becoming a photographer when I was I was a photographer when I was in 8th grade and at, 11 years old, but I knew that was right, and I knew that was fun, and I fucking loved it. And I still go every day to take pictures in every city I'm in, That's one of my favorite things on earth. So I guess I would be a full-time photographer, but I wouldn't really have it any other way, because I get to travel around and with my best friends and write rad music and play in fucking incredible places like Austria to like way too many people. You know what I mean? Like, it's awesome. And I also get to go to Ljubljana in a couple days and wander and see that, and get to go to Budapest, which I've never been to yet, and get to wander and see that. It's like, there's nothing more exciting than that for me.
And another question that we ask every band is, what would be your main advice for young musicians? So a lot of our listeners are musicians themselves, so how can they make it?
We touched on that earlier, but I'll recap just to, it's just, like I said, just follow your excitement. That's the only thing that matters in life. If you're a young musician or a young artist or a young stockbroker or whatever the fuck, just follow what makes you excited. Follow where you have fun and what brings you most joy. It's simple. Life is a lot fucking easier than people make it out to be. You just have fun.
Awesome, thanks. Thank you very much for the interview. Any last words you want to share?
No. If you've seen us on this cycle, or if you've picked up Long Live, thank you. We're going to be touring out through the rest of this year, and then we're going to write another record. So, yeah.
Stay tuned for that. Thank you very much. Thank you.